Turn on your mic. Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Okay. So, Presiding Officer Gonzalez, I think your statement was so fair, and I know we all appreciate you are making this accommodation, and it is an accommodation because having sat on the other side, I know it's a half hour of public comment. So, really, many thanks to you and to all who are here today.
Okay. And now I'm going to start the clock at 10 after 1.
Okay.
And at 10 after 2, that's it.
Got it.
You got it?
Okay. So
I'm not taking this off your time now.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm proud to be back at the Nassau County Legislature and to share with you my thoughts on an issue of great importance to the town of North Hempstead, and that's the proposal by Nassau OTB to locate a casino on the former Fortunoff's property. I'm very pleased to be joined by Westbury Mayor Peter Cavallaro, who has done an outstanding job over the past several weeks spearheading the local community response on this issue. I'm also joined by my colleagues in North Hempstead Town Government, Councilwoman Viviana Russell, Town Clerk Wayne Wink, and Receiver of Taxes Charles Berman, all of whom stand with Mayor Cavallaro and me in opposition to this ill-advised plan. There are so many civic groups that are here today as well, and I am here today on behalf of communities that I'm so proud to represent: Carle Place, Westbury, and Newcastle. The residents of these communities have numerous questions for which there have been no real answers provided by OTB. Many are justifiably concerned about the safety of their children, teens, and older family members. They are concerned about the security of their neighborhoods. They believe, as do I, that their quality of life will be seriously and negatively impacted by a casino being placed in their community. Let me make it clear, this is a community that will never accept the idea of a casino operating 20 hours per day from 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. the following morning, that in many cases would be just a few hundred feet from their homes and neighborhoods. Of course, we understand that as legislators you have no jurisdiction over the location of any casino. However, the county legislature does directly control the membership of the Nassau OTB Board of Directors. If this legislature is willing to stand with my constituents in Westbury, Carle Place, and Newcastle, communities that are represented here by very able legislators from both sides of the aisle, then you can stop this ill-conceived project in its tracks on a non-political, bipartisan basis. First, as I stated to nearly 1,000 local residents at Carle Place High School last Wednesday night, you can prevent a casino from being sited at this location by removing the 3 directors who are there now, who serve at your pleasure, and by replacing them with 3 individuals who understand there cannot and should not be a casino just a baseball throw away from these well-established, quiet, residential neighborhoods. And second, there is another way for the county legislature to help the community on this issue. Initiate a bipartisan dialogue with the current directors and convince them that this casino at this location is a bad idea and they must end it now. In addition, I do want to say that I remain deeply troubled regarding the process.
Your 3 minutes have expired.
I've said from the very beginning that the way OTB has chosen to pursue this project has lacked transparency, a theme that you remember I stated often when I sat with you, lacked transparency and appropriate disclosure to the public. I have called upon OTB to immediately suspend negotiations towards acquisition of the Fortunoff site because once this deal is done, it's done. This was confirmed in last week's letter to OTB from the New York State Gaming Commission, which stated clearly that issues regarding casino site selection are the sole responsibility of OTB, contrary to what OTB has told the community. The bottom line is that OTB picked this location, no one else did, and they must now admit that a huge mistake has been made and cancel this plan. Most of you here today are former colleagues of mine. I was truly proud to serve with you. This legislature has done much good work for the people of Nassau County during a very challenging time for local government, protecting, defending, and nurturing the communities that make up the fabric of this great county for both today and tomorrow is a shared goal of every single legislator here. I implore you to understand how vital it is to the people I represent that this casino project must be ended now. And I urge you later today to take up the emergency resolution proposed by legislator Celia Bino that will enable a full and open debate by this legislature on the issue of the leadership of Nassau OTB. Thank you so much.
I'm going to ask you, excuse me for 1 minute. Excuse me for 1 minute. I'm going to ask you, I know how involved you are and how much you are really, I guess, passionate about the issue that we are discussing here today. But when you take the time, shout, scream, and holler, it takes time away from the participation that I'm hoping to get here today. I have a statement, but I'm not going to read my statement until after the hour of public participation is done. So in all fairness to you, I don't want really to deprive anybody of the 3 minutes to speak to us here on this dais. And without any further ado, I have Dr. Alexandra Sanu. Am I correct? Dr. Alexandra? Yes? I don't know if I said your last name properly, but you can correct me. It's quite all right.
Yes, my name is Dr. Alexandra Sununu. I'm not the Sununu that normally speaks in public, so I'm very nervous. It's only my second time.
Don't be nervous.
I live in Meadowbrook Point. I just moved from the city a little while ago, and I want you to know that in the city I lived in Mary Hill, which was around the corner from my church, which had an OTB right around the corner on 43rd and 3rd. And at the last meeting in Carle Place, we were told that the clientele who were coming to this casino would be between the ages of 50 and 64, and that they would be people who were looking for a nice restaurant, and that they would be a higher class clientele, not to worry. However, it is going to be open 20 hours a day. And I can assure you that those people who came to the OTB in New York were not that kind of clientele. I worked in the soup kitchen at St. Agnes for 20 years, which was around the corner from the OTB. And I recognized many of those people who were going into the OTB. They were not looking for a 4-star restaurant. I can assure you of that. Also, I just want to know why you decided that this is a good idea when most of those OTBs are closed and when the casinos that are across the river are closing, and why you think this is a good position to take at this time. Basically, I'm asking you to reconsider that we have 5 schools in the area, we have senior communities in the area, and we have residents in many neighborhood, and I mean neighborhood communities, that would not be beneficial and not be benefiting from this casino. Thank you for my time.
You're welcome. Eileen Silversmith. Eileen Silversmith.
I, too, am a resident of Meadowbrook Point, and I'd like to thank Judy because she pretty much presented most of what I felt I needed to say today. I just have a problem, I think, with the fact that I am feeling very unhappy about the process that exists in all of this casino business. I don't understand when we cease to be a democracy, and that is my issue. How can our elected officials permit an appointed committee that has that is not subject to any local zoning laws to ram this devastating casino down our throats? The children of Westbury, Carle Place, Salisbury, East Meadow, Newcastle, Garden City, all around, why are they less important than transient students at Hofstra? At least the students at Hofstra have a choice with the people they associate. No, these children will have to be in contact with very undesirables, some of whom will be attending this casino. That is really my major concern, that we are seeing a breakdown in our elected officials being in charge of what happens to us and what we believe we need. That is the country in which I was brought up. I am 69 years old, and I am getting scared because it isn't what we live in now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Silversmith. Denise Patisi. And if I mispronounce your name, please correct me.
Denise Pratesi.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you about this issue, which is very important to our community. You've heard many reasons why this casino should not be built. And I know that there are some of you who will be saying, oh, this is only the old Long Island NIMBY rearing its head again. I just want you to know what kind of a community this really is. When a group wanted to open a school for children with Asperger's syndrome, they did their homework, properly informed the community, and the community responded positively. When the second meeting was held, a community member not familiar with the process said to me outside, "It's a shame that all these people came out tonight to fight children." I smiled and said, "No, you don't understand. 99% of the people out here tonight are here to support the children and the project. The school next door to our St. Bridget's Our Lady of Hope School is a testament to how a caring community responds when they are treated properly and given the courtesy of advance notice and information. This casino project gave neither. This St. Bridget's community also supports a food pantry, which feeds 350 families each month. This food pantry and our St. Bridget's Church, the oldest Catholic church on Long Island, are within about 5 blocks of the proposed casino. I don't feel that this is a proper venue so close to these vulnerable families and the elderly. It is also within a half-mile of several elementary schools and close to your community college and Hofstra University. Again, this casino does not provide a great environment for these young people. Our public officials have all said that they oppose this venue, but that their hands are tied. It's true that you cannot override the decision of the board, but you can replace the board. I urge you, if the OTB board does not do the right thing and agree with the negative opinion many of you have said of this venue, then you should replace the representatives on this board. This you can do. I ask you to honestly answer this question. Would you want this venue within 2 blocks of your home, or within walking distance of your house of worship or your child's school? I think if you were honest with yourselves, the answer would be no. OTB has said it will do a traffic study, but after the leases have been signed, it seems that this is a done deal in search of a rationalization. Is this study trying to come up with a way to appear to shove a square peg of a proposal into a round hole? This is why I believe that until the study, if there is one, is completed and made public, there should be a hard and fast moratorium on any public or legal commitments or any private winks and nods between OTB and any entity that would seek to contract or implement this proposed deal.
Your 3 minutes have expired, ma'am.
Our community and our children are just as important.
Ms. Patesi, wrap it up so we can get some more speakers.
I am. Just 2 more sentences. For those who don't, maybe this is just a bad idea for all of Nassau community and our children and our community are just as important as the children and communities of Plainview and Hofstra University who don't want the gaming establishment. Maybe it's just a bad idea all around.
Thank you very much, Ms. Patesi. Mayor Cavallero.
Thank you for your time.
Mayor Cavallero.
Good afternoon, Madam Presiding Officer. I want to thank you for a couple of minutes today. As the mayor of the most directly affected community, I'm opposed to the VLT parlor, as you all know, at the old Fortunoff site. In fact, it's my opinion that this site is the least suitable site of all the sites that have been proposed or mentioned to date. As has been mentioned, it's within several hundred feet of the nearest residential home. It's within a half mile of 3 or 4 schools. It's within a half a mile radius of about 3,000 residential homes. Thousands of residents from Westbury, Carle Place, Old Westbury, Salisbury, Garden City, Meadowbrook Point, and other communities have shown up at the various meetings in opposition to this site selection. Every single elected official from both political parties who have expressed an opinion on this site selection have opposed the site selection, and that includes County Executive Mangano, Hempstead Supervisor Kate Murray, North Hempstead Supervisor Judy Bosworth, Senator Jack Martins. The governor, when he was on Long Island a week ago, indicated that this site is not an appropriate site for this type of an activity. And frankly, I'm coming to the conclusion that the VLT parlor really has no place in Nassau County at all. It's this legislature's purpose to pursue legislation and policies that are in the best interest of the residents of Nassau County. It's not this body's purpose to pursue what's in the best interest of OTB. OTB has been operating for the last 6 years at least at a loss, and this VLT scheme is really meant to prop up a failing business, which is not your prerogative to do. In the end, based on numerous independent studies, it's inarguable that this type of a facility is going to bring many, many negative impacts to our community. Increased crime, increased traffic, increases in addictive gambling are just a few of the well-documented impacts that these types of facilities bring when they're placed in a residential setting. With the governor's state of the state indicating last week that he wants to expand the authorization of gaming at these types of facilities, these problems are only going to get worse. So I'm asking the legislature to take a firm position that is opposed to the placement of the casino at this site. Legislator Bino has offered a resolution to replace the OTB board, and that's a drastic measure. I understand that. But if the OTB board won't take consultation from you as a legislature as to what you think is appropriate as a matter of policy for Nassau County, then I think that should be pursued as an alternative and replace the OTB board. In any event, it's within your authority as a legislature to direct the OTB board to pursue policies that are consistent with the needs and good of the county and its residents. Failing to do that, this body should replace the board, as I said, and put a board in that has those interests at heart. I urge you to place Legislator Bino's resolution before this body. I want to thank Legislator Schaefer for expressing the support for that resolution if it is placed before the body. If you don't do that, frankly, I think it's going to speak to the fact that there are political motivations at the heart of this, not governmental motivations. if that's the case, then the voters are going to remember that, and I can assure you of that, frankly.
John Viscusi? John Viscusi. I believe that's the way you say his last name. John?
My name is John Viscusi. I live 800 yards from this proposed casino. I'm in the Argo section of Westbury. We have over 400 homes and over 1,000 residents. Some of those residents include children who are of grade school, kindergarten, first, second, third, on through high school. There's approximately 300 kids in that neighborhood. My children's safety and the well-being of this proposed casino puts us in direct target and harm. We have enough to deal with between traffic woes, recent crimes in our area, and constant traffic, along with many undesirables that enter our neighborhood. The casino in this neighborhood is just a severe lack of respect on OTB's part, and based on their misleading and false statements put forth by their general counsel, this is an insult. As a tax-paying citizen, I wonder how in the world does OTB have such power and influence over many of our elected officials. Even going back to the controllers and state controllers and Nassau County controllers audits from 2012 to 2013 to 2014, stating that OTB's ability to operate, and again, over $1.46 million per year until the year 2020 is on the books for Nassau County to pay back in restitution. All you politicians like to use the phrase working in a bipartisan manner. How about working in it and backing up your words and taking care of all of your people that put you into office? All you people in front of me represent Nassau County and different sections of Nassau County, and we're all the same. We're all intertwined with each other. And if you want to be a good public servant and follow your vow that you took as a public servant, you will take the people's requests to move this casino in a location that will not harm anybody. Lastly, these children in this picture with legislative Schaefer, Laura Schaefer, these children are my children. They're in my community. These are the children that will be the most affected by this proposed casino. There are 10 bus stops within 2 blocks of this proposed casino, and their well-being is and safety is in the balance. I thank you for your time. Please support Legislator Bino's amendment and stop this casino. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Howard Rosen. Howard Rosen. Howard Rosen.
Good afternoon, members of the legislature. I didn't have any prepared comments because I didn't know I was going to be here today. But I would like to remind all the legislatures that casinos are on a downswing rather than an upswing. Foxwoods, who was once the premier casino in the country, has closed one of their hotels, has even closed their museum, their Indian museum, because of the lack of funding. Atlantic City, 13 casinos, 5 have closed, and many are in trouble. Having a casino to raise money for schools is really not an appropriate thing to do. It's my observation since living in the county for over 40 years that anything that the county does like this is doomed to failure. All the objectives that they are perceived to meet are just pie in the sky. So I urge all the members of this body to please vote no on this casino issue. Thank you.
Carrie DeLeo.
Good afternoon. Thank you for listening. In 3 weeks' time, this opposition behind me has had more than 3,500 petition signatures. We have close to 4,000 people on our Facebook page, and those posts have reached upwards of 40,000 people on each post. Everybody is listening. There have been 2 huge forums and another one planned for Garden City this week. As a Carle Place resident and a registered Republican, and someone that has gathered signatures from many of you, I'm asking to gain back the respect for the Republican Party today, stop with the patronage to support a drowning OTB. It's not going to work miracles. Do the right thing and support your constituents. Change the board and move the site. Thank you.
Mike O'Connell. Mike O'Connell. Mike O'Connell. Did you hear? Oh,
Good afternoon. My name is Michael O'Connell, and I'm a resident of Westbury. I'm a father of 3 school-age children who are 8, 6, and 4 years old. My kids, along with thousands of other children, stand on bus stops every morning through the year in Westbury, Carle Place, East Meadow, and Garden City. This casino is going to be open 20 hours a day where alcohol will be served. How far-fetched is it that someone will be gambling and drinking all day long, gets in their car, and kills one of these kids? I know that several people up on that board have children, and the last thing that you would want is for one of your kids to be at risk. So I ask you to please put Sheila Bino's resolution into effect, remove this OTB board, and get this casino out of our town. You have a job to do as elected officials, and that's to protect the people that put you in office. You are to protect the community, protect the people that live it, and most importantly, protect those children on those bus stops.
Michael Kennedy. Michael Kennedy.
Hello, my name is Michael Kennedy. I'm a veteran. I was in the Vietnam War. And I remember my father coming to me and saying to me, Michael, I was the oldest of 13, by the way. We have a good Kennedy tradition throughout the world. I lived here. I lived in Westbury. I have been living there for 35 years. I'm not originally from here, as you could probably tell from my accent. But I am still consider myself a veteran that was honorably discharged. And I will tell you that this is similar, this whole proposition is similar to the day tree problems that they have at Veterans Way in Suffolk County. I interpret this as being as toxic and as dangerous as that's within the way that the veterans are being treated out there. I believe that every veteran in Nassau County would probably feel the same way. I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm speaking for the people that I've seen here in these meetings. I believe that Ms. Pino's legislation would be the thing to solve this. I believe that there is something that has to be done. We cannot afford any casino in Nassau County. And I don't care how much finances or politics is involved. I'm looking at this directly as being a threat to Nassau County, not only to my hometown of Westbury and Carle Place and the immediate structure. There's been many reasons why that shouldn't exist. And the other thing, too, is that I am confused about the fact that how can anybody deny the fact that there is going to be criminal problems that are going to come up from this? Any legislature who votes for this whole process will hold that responsibility, in my view. And I swear that I will do everything I can, as I did when I fought for this country, to eliminate that person in ways of getting them out of office. As you can tell, I'm probably not a politician, but I am telling you from my heart, I will do everything I can to stop anybody who uses politics in this situation. This is a dangerous situation, and it cannot be something that we can tolerate for anywhere. I don't think anybody here would tolerate it, right? Thank you.
Barbara Zeno. Barbara Zeno.
Good afternoon. Excuse my nerves. My name is Barbara Zeno. I'm a resident of Westbury at Carle Place Schools, where my husband and I have lived for 30 years and raised our 2 sons. I grew up in Garden City with 7 other siblings, graduated Garden City High School, and my husband Tony grew up in Carle Place. Like our parents, we share their conservative family values and raised our children in an area that values that and supports that. As conservatives, we believe in the preservation of the family and the traditional Judeo-Christian values. And part of that is providing for our children a safe atmosphere. That a government entity such as the OTB can infringe upon my rights as a mother to raise my children in peace, frankly, scares me, as it does many other parents. Just because someone can do something does not mean that they should, nor does it mean that it's right for the people. I ask my fellow conservatives, are we for minimum government and more freedom for the people? Or are we for big government projects done without our consent? Are we for bailing out non-viable public entities such as OTB, who has not been profitable since 2008, and the bankrupt Fortunoff Company and its bondholders? Do we believe in private sector jobs, or do we believe in propping up the Teamsters Union's employees at OTB? Do we believe in promoting 18-year-old gambling 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, right in our own backyards? Or do we believe that our children have a right to grow up in a stable, safe community? If you are for big government, big labor, big spending, bailing out the OTB and Fortunoff at the expense of a good school district and good families, then you are in favor of this casino. We need you to stay true to the conservative ideals. You know in your heart that our values are being violated by this project. To the fellow parents and grandparents, in today's world, the deck is already stacked against us. Aren't our children already exposed to enough? What is more important, saving the OTB or saving our families? Ronald Reagan said, Big government is bad government. Remove the OTB board and let the people vote on it. Thank you.
Michael Goding? Is that correct? I cannot read it because it's very light. Michael, please say your last name for the record.
It's Michael Going.
Going, okay.
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Michael Going, and I live in Westbury. I came here to voice my opposition to the selection of Fortunoff's as a site for a casino. The Carle Place, Westbury area is a family-oriented community. The casino would be located a half mile from 4 different schools and yards away from homes and school bus stops. The hours of operations, 10 a.m. to 6 a.m., 20 hours per day, is not conducive to a stable family environment, one in which I want to raise my family in. I understand the county needs money. I actually worked in the Office of Management and Budget for the county. But even the most optimistic forecasts, revenue forecasts, indicate that less than 1%, the revenue that would be generated from this casino would be less than 1% of the entire county's budget of $2.9 billion. I don't think that's worth gambling on people's futures. The $20 million figure that's been floated comes from OTB, who is notorious for inflating revenue estimates. In fact, OTB hasn't generated any revenue for the county since 2008. My fear is that the VTLs will be just the beginning. The governor has approved blackjack and other table games to be played on VTLs in his most recent budget. That is a slippery slope, which I don't want to see happen. And my fear is that the site will be used increasingly for other table games, sports gambling, and the like. A prominent gambling study has indicated for every $1 a casino generates in revenue, it causes $3 in social costs, such as higher crime, police overtime, addictions, and DWI. The county should look at streamlining operations before resorting to desperate tactics, such as operating a casino. Things such as naming rights for county-owned properties, less costly health insurance, are just the beginning of ways the county can save money without generating the societal ills that come with a casino. Thank you.
Thomas Sobczak, I believe. I hope I said it right.
Tom Sobczak, Westbury, New York. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm going to be blunt. We've been all pretty polite up to this point. I won't be nasty. But it's necessary for this legislature to remove the OTB board and replace those 3 individuals with 3 individuals who will put an end to this casino project. The social ills that will come with these VLT terminals, and they're actually worse than regular casinos, will outstrip any possible monetary benefit the county will gain. And it's going to happen in my community. And eventually it'll happen in other communities. We talked about Westbury, Carle Place, and Newcastle being here to support ending this casino project. Well, at all of the rallies we've had, we've also had people from Mineola, Garden City, Hicksville, Williston Park, East Meadow, Uniondale, and Plandome Manor. This is not just a local issue. This is a county issue. Additionally, we, our community, should not have to bail out the mismanagement of OTB to the tune of $51 million, nor the mismanagement of a mall on one of the most heavily trafficked avenues in the country due to their mismanagement. Every other mall has sales through the roof. This one has been mismanaged, and it is not our responsibility nor the responsibility of the state to bail them out. I've been in contact with one of the professors. There's a number of studies that show the detrimental cost to a community in the surrounding area when a VLT or casino is put into place. And one of the professors of one of the papers that is held up as the paper to read on this issue has said that VLT parlors are worse. And not only will they increase crime, prostitution, alcoholism, but that problem gambling in those areas tend to grow 50%. I can't believe that this legislature would allow these social ills to become endemic in our county when they have the power to stop it now. As you've heard from all these other individuals, you'll hear more. You're giving us the impression that the Nassau majority, the GOP, puts patronage before people and party before community. If you allowed these social ills into our neighborhoods and our communities, I dare say you give the impression that if it gave us patronage jobs and gave you money, you would vote to force the sale of alcohol at Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. I say again, the detriments, not just to our communities, but to the county, outweigh any possible benefits, except maybe political.
Your 3 minutes have expired, sir.
Last. Replace the board, put in 3 people who will close this project down. It is not good for Nassau County. Thank you.
Krista Klatsky. Krista.
Good afternoon, and thank you for letting us some of us have the chance to speak today. I came to Westbury in 1966 with my parents. I'm a product of Carle Place schools, K through 12. I've also been a homeowner in Carle Place for over 20 years, and I have taught the students of Carle Place Middle School and High School for over 28 years. Thank you. Thank you. I understand, and let's be honest, if you do not allow this to go forward in Westbury at Fortunoff's, chances are it is not going to go forward anywhere. Because I've heard you all say at different times, well, nobody else wants it. Sometimes a bad idea is just a bad idea. It shouldn't be anywhere. In addition, as a good teacher, thoughts on the Common Core aside. The Common Core for the high school students I teach requires an argument essay. And so, trying to be a good teacher, I went out to get articles about casinos in neighborhoods. 10th graders in Carle Place High School have done a good deal of research. I have gotten them as many articles as I could, positive and negative. The negative outweighs the positive ad nauseum. Also, on CNN.com, I just read the other day, and I would like to quote that. CNN.com said, the impact of casinos on local property values is unambiguously negative, according to the National Association of Realtors. Casinos do not revive local economies. They act as parasites upon them. Communities located within 10 miles of a casino exhibit double the rate of problem gambling. Unsurprisingly, such communities also suffer higher rates of home foreclosures and other forms of economic distress and domestic violence. Here's my question to you. My students are asking me, how can they do this? Look at the facts. Look at the statistics. Look at my house. I have children telling me that they live a half a block from Old Country Road. I have parents telling me, what do I do when my child's at the bus stop and someone's walking home from the casino? What do I do when they're at the Carle Place train station, carousing at 1 o'clock in the morning? This is a bad idea. You are here to represent us. Support us. Thank you.
Madam Presiding Officer. Madam Presiding Officer, I'm sorry. Before the legislature continues on the calendar on these comments, I would like to make a series of motions that will result in the removal of the OTB board. I move that the legislature consider, approve, sign the written recommendation of an emergency to take up the resolution to remove the OTB board, and that the recommendation.
You cannot make that motion at this time. And
Once the recommendation is approved, that a vote be taken to establish the emergency so that we can vote to remove the OTB board.
Absolutely not in order at this time.
I second that motion. I second the motion. I second the motion that legislative body now is presented to the floor.
Now, Minority Leader Abrams, you know that this is not in order. All right, and you are taking away from those people who have taken the time to get here today. So we would like to move on.
No,
the motion is out of order.
Madam Presiding Officer, we're taking away from these people's time when we don't give them a conclusory answer to what they want. They want the OT board removed.
And I got news
we're
for you.
taking away from them. We have a resolution.
You may have a
resolution. We have the resolution here. And you'll see by the sign of this resolution that there are names that have not signed it to be considered today. The folks on this side have decided to sign and join you. The folks on this side have not signed. So the question becomes, why haven't you signed? The bigger question is, why hasn't this been called? Legislator Schaefer said at a public meeting that she would support it if you would put it on the calendar. So the proper response is, why is this not going on the calendar?
Gene, excuse me.
No, we're not going to accept you just moving on. We want to know why this is not.
Yes, you are, Mr. Abrams.
Madam Presiding Officer,
yes,
this should be on the calendar.
No, it should not be. You don't have the vote.
Yes, folks, she's saying that we don't have the votes.
No, I'm telling you right now.
Let's do a roll call.
This is your turn. Okay, we have.
They don't want it. We can. Let's do a roll call, folks. Let's do a roll call. We can expedite this process with a vote right now.
Hold on.
You can call the emergency. Give us the emergency votes that's necessary to bring this to the floor.
Mr. Abrams, it's my turn. It is my turn.
No, actually, it's their turn.
It's my turn. No. You have a choice right now. Do you want to continue your dialogue or your communication with this body? That's up to you. Otherwise, that motion is out of order because we were not in legislative session. Okay?
Yes, we are.
People, do you want to vote? Do you want to vote?
We began when we started public comment.
You know, President.
Do you want to vote?
No. We're not going to accept the technicality when there's thousands that are going to be impacted by this. I'm sorry. Folks, this is the deal. I'm talking to you straight. There's a resolution. A resolution to be considered today by emergency needs 13 votes. We only have 7. That means we need 6. For the resolution to move forward, we need 10. So I ask you again, will 6 people join us? If we get the 6 people, we can have the emergency be heard today. We can remove the casino, not just from Westbury, but from everywhere in Nassau County.
Guess what? Okay. Hold on. Hold on. participation is now. Excuse me. Excuse me.
You don't know what to do you?
Public participation, I gather, is now over. You have made your choice. And I'm going to tell you right now that I have a statement to read into the record, and we will begin the legislative session right after my statement. Okay? Now, if you want to sit down and wait and listen to what I have to say, and it addresses Mr. Abrams' question, you'll hear it. I'm sorry. Hey, listen to me and listen to me carefully. I'm no stranger to this kind of thing. I come from a community leader, civic activist background, and I've had many an issue in my community. My community of East Meadow, the jail, the hospital, you name it, juvenile detention center, situations which nobody else in this county has. 26% of the land. Quiet! I'm speaking. Okay? 26% of the land in my community, is off the tax rolls, and the homeowner and the small businesses pay those taxes. So now I have a statement. Mr. Abrams said he wants a vote. Guess what? I'm going to read my statement, and we're going into legislative session, okay? Which will begin immediately after my statement.
That's a stall tactic, folks. That's a stall tactic. We have the votes here. We've seen this matter before us for weeks. The OTB board is getting ready to act. Mr. Cairo said in the paper that they need to make an action by the end of this month. Don't settle for any stall tactics. Laura Schaefer's already said that she would support the measure. Okay, call it for an emergency. Let everybody stand by their vote. I don't understand why we're not calling for a vote.
You will hear in a minute. You'll hear in a minute. You'll hear it in a minute, Mr. Abrams. Okay? And I have a statement. I'm going to read it, and you can listen if you want to. You want to interrupt? That's your choice. But I'm going to continue. And after I make my statement, I'm going to ask Laura Schaefer to make hers. Now, I know I've followed this from the day it opened up in Newsday on New Year's Eve. Okay? I know your feelings. I've heard it throughout the past several weeks. And I also know that Legislator Bynum has offered a resolution to oust the OTB board and replace them with people who would not vote for the VLTs and fortunate. Okay? And so, guess what? I'm telling you right now, this resolution, as an emergency, right now, and you can go crazy after I say it, I don't care. All right, because it's the truth. No, you don't tell me what I hear. Okay? You listen to me. I listen to you without interrupting you. Now you listen to me. All right? I think you really know that this resolution does not have the 13 votes it needs to be an emergency resolution. Excuse me. And it will not have the 10 votes to pass if the emergency was granted. I am going to also tell you that if this resolution were to pass, then one could foresee the conversation again and again in some other community, some other site. All right? Now, I said, it's my turn. I listened to you very intently. Now, we are not deaf regarding your concerns. And I just told you that I come from a different background than some of these people, some of my colleagues on the legislature. And I will tell you right now, one of the things that entered my mind when I read that article in Newsday on New Year's Eve was public safety. I didn't sit back and let people cry and yell and scream to their elected officials. I did what I thought should be done as a legislator and someone who's interested in community. And I immediately contacted the acting commissioner of police, all right, Thomas Crumpter, all right, and he came to a meeting with me. And I learned that he had already met with OTB representatives and reported that OTB was responsive to his recommendations to ensure the safe operation in and around the facility. He also said to me, and I have to take him on his word, and if he doesn't follow through, guess what? then he has to listen to me. Then he has to pay it back to me. Excuse me. Hey, I'm still asking for your indulgence, just the way I sat here and listened to you. All right? Now, the Nassau County PD is prepared, according to Mr. Crumpter, to dedicate the resources necessary to ensure the public safety. By the way, I also am a former school teacher. I also dedicated to the children that not only I have in my own family, but in my community because of my involvement. I will not consider anything that would jeopardize our young people. And I have to be made sure that this is going to be. And no resolution is going to make me do that unless I get adverse information from those who I'm asking for. Now, hold on, I'm not finished. Okay? Nassau County PD said they were prepared to dedicate the resources to ensure the public safety. Now, someone raised the question just before as I was listening. Many of you had concerned about the LIRR stations, not only in Carle Place but in Westbury. We are seeking, and this is what my colleagues in government should be doing, okay? We are seeking a meeting with the MTA police to inventory these stations. This is what... you don't want to hear reason, all right? Once we get... Listen, hold on. That's not selling out. No. We need to know all that's involved in this. And we also need to know the traffic study. We also need to know the environmental.
Please don't leave.
Sorry.
Please don't leave.
Now,
this folks is a colossal disaster.
I am not finished.
This legislature is based off of democracy. It's based off the 19 people that here. The 19 members are elected by you, the public. Unfortunately, one person is deciding that this will not go forward. One person. I would like to hear from Laura Schaefer. I would like to hear from all the members. I can't believe that we don't have 13 votes. We don't have 13 votes to stop this today. I don't believe that. I refuse to believe that.
Right, okay.
So I want to hear from each and every one person. Put it up for a vote. This is way too serious. Thousands of people have said that they do not want this casino, not just in Westbury, but anywhere in Nassau County. It deserves a vote. It deserves for each and every one of them to look out into that audience and tell them yes or no. I can tell you, folks, we are with you.
It's
way too serious, I'm sorry.
No.
Madam Presiding Officer, can I make my statement?
Hold on. You know what? Let me say to you that I had expected a little bit more courtesy, and not only from you, but from my minority leader. All right? Now, you want to hear from
these people.
Want to hear from Legislator Schaefer. She's prepared to talk to you. And you don't want to hear what we have to say. We need to explore. We just don't arbitrarily have to put before you a resolution to throw out a board because you want that board out. That's not the way good government operates. It's politically expedient, not good government.
Okay.
Tell me what's in my neighborhood. I have a jail in my neighborhood.
Not enough. Listen, I have stood with my residents since the beginning of this. I've been in almost constant communication with Mayor Cavallaro.
Well, if you'd stop talking, let her talk.
I've been in constant communication with Mayor Cavallaro and other elected officials and some of my colleagues here as well regarding this. We know that people are unhappy. Clearly, we know that everybody is unhappy here. Okay? Every day, everyone in this dais knows that even if this resolution is successful, the proposed resolution will not guarantee that another site will not be objected to in another community that surrounds a proposed location. We can ask Legislator Bino if she would like it at the Coliseum. We can ask Legislator Abrams if he would like it in Freeport. legislator to Ridgey Witten, but we don't have the power to remove Nassau County OTB, and that's a fact.
At all, we don't want it.
Right, but as a legislature, we don't have the power to remove Nassau OTB and to make them to decide that this is not going to be anywhere in Nassau County. Some of the alternates suggested are in or next to my district. They're covering many communities in Nassau County. I want to protect all of my constituents like everybody on the dais here wants to do as well. I have to do that. That is my obligation. I have 70,000 constituents in my district, as does everybody else. Therefore, we on the legislature need to become immersed in assisting, settling this matter, and figuring out a way to do what is the best solution in the interest of all communities that we represent. That is something that still needs to be figured out. Issues such as hours of operation, the potential for an increase in crime, limits on future growth, traffic will affect the surrounding communities. These require the community leaders to work together, the Gaming Commission, the towns and villages affected by the selection of this site. Everybody needs to come together to try and figure out how we can resolve this. This is not going to resolve it. And that's what I was trying to say the other night. Nobody else wants it in their district.
Yeah. I'm sorry, presiding officer.
No. That's not it. It's not it. Not when you have hundreds here. That's not it. Look, guys, this is very simple. This is very simple. I think the public has already spoken. It's not about, do I want it in Freeport? Does Norma want it in East Meadow? Does Judy Jacobs want it in Plainview? Nobody wants it, period. So that being said, when did we vote for it?
In the budget.
For the budget? What are you talking?
It was in the budget.
First of all,
it was $20 million in the budget, and you all voted for it.
Oh, okay. Well, now we're going to get into policies and technicalities and all that other stuff.
No, that's the truth.
We can amend the budget. We can do anything you want. The bottom line is we're standing today asking for our resolution, Sheila Bideno's resolution, which would basically remove the OTB board, and replace them with people that have a like mind, like the folks that are here today. Okay. People that are willing. Why can't that go forward?
Because we don't have the 13 votes to advance.
Then who are the 13 that are preventing us from advancing?
I'm against it.
Okay.
I'm against replacing the board.
Good.
All right, so there.
Okay, why?
And she's not on the witness stand.
All right.
I will not.
Presiding officer, may I? I'm sorry. No, may I? I'm sorry. You've accused me of being politically expedient, but we don't have time. We don't have time. The OTB board has stated on the record that they expect to move quickly and to close this deal by the end of January. We do not have time. I'm not being politically expedient. I am being moving forward expediently because the community is left in the dark. We knew nothing about this, nothing. But apparently the administration did, because Crumpter met with the OTB board before you could call him. So this is not right. This hasn't been right from the very start. This is not right.
Bino, I have to tell you, there are not 13 votes to pass this as an emergency.
We haven't heard from everybody. We haven't heard from everybody.
Roll call. Roll call. Roll call. Roll call.
You want to know what it is? There will be the vote is 10 against it. There's 10. There are 10 against it. No, they don't have to.
Still roll call.
There's no need for it, Devon.
You can do it.
Salatis. Okay? There are 10 people here who will not vote for the emergency on the resolution. There are no. I'm sorry, but let me say something to you, and I know you don't want to hear it, and neither does Mr. Abrams. I will tell you there are 50 to 60 boards in this county, and if we acted in this regard, in this way, with every one of those boards, this county would be in chaos. There is no way.
I disagree. This is one of the only boards that doesn't have any term, and that's for this reason. Presiding officer,
right now.
Presiding officer, may I ask one question? Why is it that this particular board is serving at will when other boards have terms? That is because it's designed in this fashion to protect the communities against this particular board doing actions just as this. Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry to say to you that there isn't a vote for an emergency, and there sure wouldn't be, even if there were, there would not be a vote.
May we do roll call, please?
That's
According to the county
There's no
charter,
reason
we have a right to do a roll call.
But how can it, Madam Presiding Officer, there cannot be 10 people on the other side because Legislator Schaefer has said to this public that she would support our measure. So there's not 10 people.
I said if it wasn't going to negatively impact my district. That's what I said. If it wasn't going to negatively impact my district.
It is going to negatively.
But that's the problem with it, and that's what I said the other night.
Schaefer, these folks are telling you it's going to have a negative impact on their
I
district.
know.
So you're
But
with us.
it's going to just kick it around the county.
Not kick it around the county. We'll kick
It
it
will
out,
kick it
period.
around. That's not something we can tell.
Folks, we'll stay here until there is a vote.
I will, excuse me. Listen and listen carefully. In 5 minutes.